One of the strongest typhoons the world has seen in years. Super Typhoon Regasa has slammed into southern China. This is the moment it blew out the doors of a hotel in Hong Kong.
After Super Typhoon Regasa slammed into China's southern coast. The storm flooded homes and streets, toppled trees, and caused power outages for nearly 500,000 people.
Shanghai faces an escalating typhoon threat, not from isolated storms, from the measurable convergence of rising sea surface temperatures and urban expansion that is shifting typhoon tracks closer to a megacity of 24.87 million people. Right now, the pattern intensifies. Typhoons Babinka and Pulasan struck Shanghai in September 2024, resulting in widespread flooding, power outages, and the evacuation of more than 500,000 residents, while also breaking local rainfall records. Typhoon Ko-mei made landfall in Shanghai in July 2025, forcing evacuation of almost 283,000 people from vulnerable coastal and low-lying areas. Since 1990, only 7 typhoons have made landfall in Shanghai, but 3 of those landfalls occurred between 2024 and 2025, and the science reveals why the danger is increasing. The city of Shanghai in China is highly vulnerable to typhoon damages. Warmer sea surface temperatures significantly shift typhoon tracks while substantially enhancing rainfall intensity and wind velocity. The increase in surface roughness due to urban expansion reduces wind velocity but enhances rainfall intensity within Shanghai, further exacerbating local risk. Before we break down exactly what happens when Shanghai experienced flooding of 70 roads and 7 underpasses, falling or breaking 3,137 trees, collapsing 73 billboards, and causing 65 power outages during Typhoon Mifa, why the 2025 Pacific typhoon season saw 27 named tropical storms with many traveling relatively far south, what occurs when warmer SST increases air temperature and decreases sea level pressure, facilitating the formation and development of typhoon sizes, and why Shanghai's urban population has reached 29.6 million. Make sure you subscribe. Because what is happening to Shanghai is not cyclical variation. It is the compounding effect of climate change and urbanization converging on China's most populous city. First, understand Shanghai's vulnerability, because the exposure is unprecedented. Shanghai is a direct-administered municipality and the most populous urban area in China. It has a population of 558,908 in the urban area as of 2025. According to the latest available data, 2026, the population of Shanghai is approximately 24,170,195 residents. Shanghai is China's most populous city and sits at the mouth of the Yangtze River in the Yangtze River Delta of East China. The city is located on the Chinese shoreline on the southern estuary of the Yangtze River, with the Huangpu River bisecting the city. Shanghai covers over 6,340.5 kilometers, 2,448 square miles. The city has an average population density of 2,059 people per square kilometer, although this number increases to 3,154 people per square kilometer in urban areas. And Shanghai is a global economic powerhouse. Shanghai is a global center for finance, business and economics, research, science and technology, manufacturing, transportation, tourism, and culture. The port of Shanghai is the world's busiest container port. As of 2022, the Greater Shanghai metropolitan area was estimated to produce a gross metropolitan product of nearly 13 trillion RMB, $1.9 trillion. This is the urban target. Now shift to the typhoon threat intensifying. Tropical cyclones in the western North Pacific, known as typhoons, cause significant socioeconomic damage in East and Southeast Asian countries. The typhoon season in the Pacific begins in April and does not end until November. The most severe typhoons usually occur in August and September. The 2025 Pacific typhoon season was the second consecutive season to have a slightly above-average season in terms of named storms and typhoons. During the season, 27 tropical storms developed in the western Pacific. What was striking about the typhoon season was that many storms traveled relatively far south. As a result, the Philippines, China, and Vietnam were frequently affected, and recent storms have hammered Shanghai directly. Typhoons Babinka and Pulasan struck the city in September 2024, resulting in widespread flooding, power outages, and the evacuation of more than 500,000 residents, while also breaking local rainfall records. Typhoon Coastline made landfall in eastern Zhejiang province around 4:30 a.m. Wednesday, July 30, 2025, with winds near its center of 83 kilometers per hour. Shanghai evacuated almost 283,000 people from vulnerable coastal and low-lying areas. More than 1,100 temporary shelters were set up across the city. Almost a third of flights from Shanghai's 2 international airports were canceled, totaling around 640. The Shanghai Central Meteorological Observatory upgraded an earlier yellow rainstorm alert to orange, the second highest warning level. Here is where the long-term escalation becomes visible. Since 1990, only 7 typhoons, including Fenghuang in 2014, Babinka in 2024, and Coastline in 2025, have made landfall in Shanghai. 3 of those 7 landfalls occurred in just 2 years, 2024 and 2025. The frequency is accelerating. Typhoon Muifa made landfall in China 4 times, which set a new record for the number of landfalls by an individual typhoon. It induced heavy wind and waterlogging damages within Shanghai, flooding 70 roads and 7 underpasses, falling or breaking 3,137 trees, collapsing 73 billboards, and causing 65 power outages. And the science reveals the mechanisms driving increased risk. Coastal cities in tropical and subtropical climates like Shanghai are particularly prone to typhoon hazards. Typhoons lead to 3 major types of hazards: wind damages when typhoons directly strike Shanghai, compound fluvial coastal flooding hazards due to typhoon-induced extreme rainfall combined with astronomical high tides and storm surges, and waterlogging damages, particularly in highly urbanized areas. Let's state the compound threat plainly. Shanghai's escalating typhoon risk sits at the intersection of 5 climate and urban realities converging on China's megacity. Sea surface temperatures are rising. Warmer SST increases air temperature and decreases sea level pressure, thereby facilitating the formation and development of typhoon sizes and their dynamic systems. SST warming significantly shifts typhoon tracks while substantially enhancing rainfall intensity and wind velocity. Urban expansion amplifies rainfall. The increase in surface roughness due to urban expansion reduces wind velocity but enhances the rainfall intensity within Shanghai, further exacerbating local risk. Typhoon tracks are shifting. A consistent southward shift of typhoon tracks can be linked to the Fujiwara effect, a phenomenon that occurs when 2 typhoons interact, causing a mutual counterclockwise rotation. Landfall frequency is increasing. Since 1990, only 7 typhoons have made landfall in Shanghai, but 3 occurred between 2024-2025, suggesting accelerating frequency. And the population exposure is massive. Shanghai's population is approximately 24,870,895, with 29,558,908 in the urban area, creating unprecedented disaster exposure. The 2024 and 2025 typhoon seasons demonstrated the new normal. Babinka and Pulasan in September 2024 resulted in evacuation of more than 500,000 residents while breaking local rainfall records. Coastline in July 2025 forced evacuation of 283,000 people, canceled 640 flights, and triggered the second highest warning level. Live shots from China's eastern coast showed waves overrunning seaside walkways, while broadcasts from Ningbo showed residents splashing through ankle-deep water. Coastline's passage had an indirect link to extreme weather in northern China. Heavy rain there killed more than 30 people and forced authorities to evacuate tens of thousands. And the 2025 Pacific season overall was active. During the season, 27 tropical storms developed in the western Pacific, and all of them were named by the JMA. 13 became typhoons, and only 1 intensified into a super typhoon. What was striking was that many storms traveled relatively far south, frequently affecting the Philippines, China, and Vietnam. The most severe typhoon to make landfall in China in the past 12 months was Ragasa. It reached a wind speed of up to 143 meters on September 23, 2025, near Haimen, and was 96 miles in diameter. This corresponded to a Category 4 typhoon. On the open sea, speeds of up to 159 mm were measured, Category 5. Super Typhoon Ragasa and Typhoon Bualoy traveled across several countries in the region, causing severe storm and flood damage. The total losses exceeded the billion-dollar threshold in each case. The scientific modeling confirms the escalating threat. Research using the Weather Research and Forecasting Convection Permitting Model simulated 5 typhoon events that made landfall along the southeastern coast of China and severely impacted Shanghai between 2018 and 2022. Different scenarios considered future expansion of Shanghai's urban area and increases in sea surface temperature by 1, 2, and 3 degrees Celsius. The results indicate that while SST warming significantly shifts typhoon tracks away from the city, the local risk continues to increase due to substantial enhancement of rainfall intensity and wind velocity. Warmer SST increases air temperature and decreases sea level pressure, facilitating typhoon formation and development. Furthermore, researchers find a consistent southward shift of typhoon tracks linked to the Fujiwara effect. Compared to SST changes, urbanization has limited influence on typhoon tracks and structures, but the increase in surface roughness due to urban expansion enhances rainfall intensity within Shanghai. The geographical vulnerability compounds the risk. Most typhoons that make landfall in China have previously made their way across the Philippines, Vietnam, and Taiwan. Due to cooler temperatures on the more northerly Chinese coast, they lose energy. The Hainan Peninsula and the provinces of Guangdong, Fujian, and Zhejiang lie in the main path of the storm. Strong winds, heavy rainfall, and flooding near the coast nevertheless cause severe damage. Shanghai sits at this convergence point, far enough north that typhoons typically weaken before arrival, but close enough to the coast that direct hits cause catastrophic flooding and wind damage. Shanghai's rainy season usually occurs in summer, June-August. Heavy rain in June and July may cause localized flooding. In southeastern coastal areas, typhoons may occur from July to September. It's advisable to avoid outdoor activities during a typhoon. Natural phenomena such as typhoons, floods, and cold waves are common in China, and the economic exposure cannot be overstated. Shanghai's GDP exceeds $600 billion, driven by finance, tech, and shipping. As of 2023, Shanghai generated CNY 177.12 billion, used 24.53 billion in tourism value alone. The city hosts 57 five-star hotels, 52 four-star hotels, 1,142 travel agencies, and 144 rated tourist attractions. In 2023, Shanghai hosted 118 sports events with 190,000 participants and 1.29 million spectators, driving consumption of CNY 3.713 billion. All of this economic activity sits exposed to intensifying typhoon risk. These findings improve our understanding of typhoon variability under the combined effects of urbanization and climate change, as well as the risks they pose to Shanghai. The convergence is not theoretical. Babinka, Pulasan, Koumei, and Muifa demonstrated the new reality. Shanghai's typhoon season is intensifying, evacuation numbers are climbing, and the megacity's exposure to superstorms is escalating. Stay tuned.